Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Stark and this is the gum video session for Capitalization 2 for Intermediate English A. For this video session, before we get started, I want you to think about a couple of questions. Consider, what is your nationality? So what country are you from? Do you know anyone who maybe has a title in their name? We'll talk about some of these things and how to capitalize these terms in this lesson. Our learning goals for today are learning when to capitalize adjectives, titles, and works. And then for materials, please open up your green English Language Handbook and go to page 425 to follow along. You can pause the recording to get this book. Then we have the assignment alert, and just be aware that you will be writing down 6 different sentences for this session, and you'll submit them as always to the Google Doc form at the link below, and it will also be posted in Moodle in the weekly overview and also in the YouTube where you can view this video. Okay, a quick review for this lesson. I want you to think back, maybe you've learned about this before, to what is an adjective. So my first hint are some visuals, some pictures. The words colorful, heavy, and soft. If you're still not sure, check out your handbook on page 113. Okay, so an adjective describes a noun. So we would say the colorful lion. Colorful is the adjective, lion is the noun. We would say a heavy backpack. Heavy is the adjective, backpack is the noun. Or a soft blanket. Soft again is the adjective, blanket is the noun. Looking at proper adjectives specifically for this lesson, what do you think this term means now that we know what adjectives means? What do you think proper adjectives together means? If you're still not sure, look in your book at page 425. Check out the different examples that they have. You can pause the recording to do this. Some other examples that are maybe not in your book of proper adjectives are looking at people who, or things, symbols that have a nationality to describe them. So a Jewish man describes this man, his background, or his religion. An American flag describes the type of flag it is. Swedish meatballs describe what kind of meatballs we're talking about. Islamic symbol illustrates what kind of symbol this is. So anytime you have a nationality, a religion, or a background where it's a formal name, or it comes from a word like Judaism, America, Sweden, Islam, we want to always capitalize them, whether they're used as adjectives, proper adjectives, or just used alone. We want to keep them capitalized. Okay, then for your assignment, I want you to think of 2 proper adjectives that either describe you or your heritage or a place maybe that you've been to, like a different country you've been to or a different location you've visited, and write those down to submit for the assignment. Okay, next we have titles. What do you think this term means? Looking at titles specifically of people, And you can find information and examples about this on page 426 to 427. You can again pause the recording to take a look and read through this. Okay, titles of people. So titles with names of people and in direct address. So a good rule of thumb for these things, when you have a title with someone's name, or when you're talking directly to someone and you're saying that title with their name, we always want to capitalize it if the title comes right before the name. That's the rule of thumb. And if it's not with a name, we don't need to capitalize it. It's just kind of extra information. It's kind of floating on its own. It's not immediately with that name. So here are some examples of when we capitalize that title with the name. Mr. Jones, President Obama, CEO Gates. Notice how these all come right before, and they're part and parcel of the name itself. Okay. All right, so the assignment here is to think of 2 other titles a person could have. Maybe it's someone you know that you think of, oh, they have this title with their name. Write those down and be prepared to submit it for the assignment. Okay, then moving on to the next topic is titles of works. And these are written works or works of art. Examples for this section or this group are on page 429 to 430. So take a moment to check those out. When do we capitalize these things? So these get a little bit trickier. There's more to capitalize with them, but a rule of thumb is to capitalize the first and last words in the titles, and then all major words within the titles. Okay, so this gets kind of confusing. So what might also help is knowing what not to capitalize. We don't want to capitalize prepositions. So those are words that show the location of something. Under, over, on, above, across, below, beneath, through. Those are all different prepositions. If you're not sure whether a word is a preposition, look it up in a dictionary and see what that says. I still have to do this for different words to know what's not capitalized versus what should be capitalized, just to make sure. Articles are another thing we don't want to capitalize, and those include a, an, and the. And these are words that come before a noun. They kind of go with the noun to define it a little bit more. And then, like I said, any words you're not sure about, whether they should be capitalized or not, look it up in a dictionary. You can also check in with me to see. I also want to just clarify that if a preposition or an article begins at the beginning or the end of a title for a work of art or a written work, you want to capitalize it. You still want to capitalize it in that case. So regardless of what type of word it is, all first words, all last words are capitalized in these titles, okay? Keep that in mind. All right, then the assignment for this one. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't change that. It should be titles of written works and art. That'll be changed for the PowerPoint. So for this one, I want you to find 2 titles in magazines, books, artworks, movies, etc. Whatever you have maybe around the house or that you know about that you really enjoy yourself. Find those titles and make sure that you're properly capitalizing them. That's what I'm grading you on, not the title, not the words of themselves, but that you're capitalizing them. And then write that down in the form. Okay, and then that's all I have for this video session. Again, if you want to review this, you can always go back in the video and listen to different parts. You can check out the PowerPoint that I'll have posted, and then make sure you're submitting this assignment for a grade this quarter. And be aware both for this assignment that you're submitting it, and in general, when you're writing anything for my class or other classes, make sure you're using correct capitalization. Especially this assignment, that's what I'm going to be grading you on and looking for. If you still have any questions about it, please don't hesitate to ask me, and I would be happy to help you out. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in, and have a great day.